So previously, an adventure awaits. Making your way northwards once more, you encountered an incubus that had seemingly taken over the small town of Liam's Hold and pissed him off by burning down his creation with all the residents still within the town. Believing the situation completed and concluded, you continued with your merchant convoy northward toward Waterdeep. On a night stop on the side of the road, Juliet was ambushed by this incubus that had been following you, and was unfortunately killed in a mere instant. After successfully, and this time finally, defeating this incubus, you hastily made northward travel once again in search of a cleric whom could hopefully revive your dead friend. Our story picks up as you see slowly head to toe the color return to her skin and the life return to her body as finally a breath gets drawn in. Juliet, welcome back to life.
Juliet's gonna pop up almost too fast and then sort of wobble and reach for her sword, which I'm assuming someone disarmed her corpse.
You see from behind you in this vastly unfamiliar room, middle-aged to older, very smooth pink-skinned dwarven man in these navy blue robes with gold inlays walks around in front of you, leans up into your face, and just begins looking at you in your eyes.
What's going on? Where are we?
The incubus took your life before we could react. Managed to take it down. We're in Waterdeep now because we just revived you.
Oh. Thank you. What? Juliet's gonna look at all the priests.
Just the half-elf and the dwarf. He's backed away from you now as they discuss in the corner of the room, and they notice you glance over. We'll be with you in a moment. Kai with a 17. It's hard to make out every word, and the one word that keeps coming back up is side effects.
Does Juliet look different to us?
As you make eye contact, you begin to notice her right pupil. The actual shape of it is changing. And your vision suddenly flashes over you. Begin to both see and feel the final moments of Juliet's life back in the encampment on the side of the road before the incubus killed her. You feel as though you're there, physically and emotionally. And right in that moment, you feel a pain in your neck. The vision fades for you. All of this happened in an instant, as this memory was inserted into your mind. You come out of it. You notice that her right pupil, instead of being a near circular shape, is now shaped like a skull. Anyone who makes eye contact with Juliet will have the exact same experience.
I would look at the others to see if they saw and felt the same thing that she did, with a worried, confused look.
Yeah, Orsk looks around, reassuring himself that he wasn't the only one that saw this.
Juliet's gonna clasp on her amulet, try to stand up off of the table she's on, wobble a little bit, and brace herself.
You need a hand?
I think I'm okay. I'm a little tired.
You see her reach for this amulet around her neck that you have never seen before. Beautifully cast bronze chained amulet with a ornately carved ruby directly in the center of it.
Finally in town. I think it's time we relax for once.
Yeah. Oh, and Juliet, you should cover your eye. I think whatever happened to you had side effects. Maybe like an eye patch later? A bandana?
Yes.
Juliet will thank the elf and the dwarf again, forgetting that she can't make eye contact with people and making eye contact with them.
The female half-elf get closer to you this time. We would like you to come back sometime tomorrow once you've rested. We need to make sure that there's no other lasting effects of bringing you back to life. Should also take it easy over the next 5 or 6 days. It may take you a while to be back to your old fighting strength.
Let's go find a place to stay for the night.
Where did I stay last time I was here?
Right near here, within the Black Arch District, Juliet. Down the main pathway, you find the Violet Jester, the largest inn and tavern within this district of Waterdeep.
This inn is pretty large. We'd be fairly anonymous. Stay the night, then in the morning I can stop back at the temple if we really think I need to.
You probably should. There's some minor things I want to do while we're here.
Same with me.
What time is it at the moment?
Probably well after midnight.
So Violet Jester, Juliet?
Yes. I will show the way.
All right.
Albeit a
We'll
little
walk in.
slower than she usually goes.
Obviously, Kai, not too close, but it's gonna hover behind you, just making sure you're fine.
We have to buy her some sunglasses or something.
Definitely an eye patch. We have to make her look cool and fashionable.
Juliet leads you all just down the road. For within a city, this is a fairly large building. 3 stories made out of a combination of bricks and different darker hardwoods and some oaks built in. They're extremely clean, and the outside has this gleam to it that makes it very enchanting. No real windows at ground level, 6 to 7 feet and higher, and you can see the glow of different torch and firelights coming from within inside. Even for the dead of night, it's quite bustling, and you hear many loud, happy voices coming from within.
Well, I'm going to inform the rest of the caravan that this is what we're going to be staying at for the night.
Find places around the sides of the building to at least temporarily put their carts up. Front of this tavern building, a very thick iron door keeps this place closed. And as you enter in, you see joyful, pleasant, warm atmosphere. Plenty of inebriated individuals partying, having fun throughout the dead of night. A small stage off to the side lit by some magical floating torchlight. Some drunken dwarf stands up on stage, doing their damnedest to attempt stand-up comedy. They are sucking. Stretching across the entire back wall of this room is a huge, solid oak bar top, behind which you see just shelves and shelves of different wines and other spirits. Currently manning the counter, Juliet, an individual familiar to you, night shift manager and co-owner that runs this place throughout the night in a full bodysuit to hide her true tiefling colors below, reddish peeking out, though, from places that the suit doesn't quite cover. Even with this place bustling, she gives you a glance and waves at you before going back to serving to acknowledge your group walking in. The merchants parking their carts and slowly begin to follow you inside.
What is the tiefling's name?
Bryces Flare.
Talk to Bryces about getting us rooms.
Okay.
A lot of them.
Finishes up divvying out some drinks to some of the bar patrons and walks over to you. Yes, how can I help you?
We're looking for rooms for the night. Possibly a few. Maybe 2.
2 nights?
Oh.
How many rooms? Looks
How
past
many-
you at the steady stream of merchants coming through.
Would you have room to accommodate us all?
Depends. Are some of you happy sharing a room? You could divvy up as you see fit.
Beggars, choosers, I suppose we'll take it.
She goes below and starts sweeping up a bunch of keys, and sure enough, it comes out to 5 silver piece per bed, and there are 5 one-beds available, 2 two-beds, and 3 three-beds available.
We put up Orsik's tent in one of the 3 bedrooms, and we all stay in the one room.
I kind of like that.
Okay, 3-bedroom it is.
I'll take care of this. And I'll take out a gold and 5 silver.
Thank you. Here is key. All of the merchants gather up, and what they've had to do in the past as well, start drawing straws for who's going to get their own room and who's going to have to share rooms and who's going to be on watches and stuff. And you guys do know, if your carts stay together, the merchants also have their own watch system, since their carts are full of extremely valuable materials. You head down the hallway, you actually get to head up to the 2nd floor, to one of the few 3-bedroom suites, you could call it, but it's basically the size of 1.5 one-beds with 3 beds shoved in it, and pretty much no other accommodations within. Juliet, you know you can request things if you need it brought up to the room, but many things also could have a fee attached to it, depending on how you ask or even who you ask. Thankfully, due to the hardy construction of this building, the noise from downstairs does not pierce through into your rooms.
Thanks, Jen.
I guess we should start settling down. I know some of us need a little baths.
Way ahead of you.
Juliet's already, on one of the beds, passed out.
Oh.
Orska's gonna set up a bedroll on the floor.
Kai's gonna sneak in that huge-ass owlbear plushie.
Where have you been carrying that?
That's what I like to know.
Dude, she's been carrying it like a back. Like, it's always on her
She's
back.
wearing it like a backpack.
Yeah.
Yoda.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna go to the bath.
There is a bathhouse, quote-unquote. Really more of a bathroom. It is 5 silver pieces per person for 1 hour, and it was really only meant for 1, though you could stick 2 people in it. Very hot, though, and they provide some small amounts of revolutionary cleaning products that make you smell like flowers.
You ever heard of shampoo? It's new around here.
Do you
Jen,
think
want to share a bath?
As long as somebody's in the room.
I'll be here for now?
Alright.
Or
See you then.
you should stay. We should go in pairs.
I agree.
Jin and Kai mark 5 silver each off, as you have an hour available in this slightly cramped bath-like area.
They have chamomile. What's this? Smell this. I can't figure out the smell.
This one is lavender.
Oh. Chamomile it is. Thanks. And she squirts soap bubbles in front of your face. Sorry that I blow you up. It was just so shiny, you know? And I honestly thought it would help out. I didn't realize that's how magic works sometimes. I'm still a little bit new at that. I'll make sure it won't happen again. That was not fun.
So what you think about Juliet? About what's happened?
Her eye's kind of cool. Minus looking at it. We all felt that, right? I want to make sure.
Felt something too.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Boros and Orsk felt the same. Is that how she felt?
I wonder if this is connected. What happened to Dagobah?
It might be. Man, we need to talk to her about that. Man, Juliet just died 4 days ago, and now she's back.
Well, for now, there's no actions we can take until we get more information. Got her back. See what comes up next in the morning. You hang out with her often. Keep an eye on her. Make sure she's okay.
I will. Don't worry, she's in good hands. It's me.
At that point, I splash water in your face. Jin gets up, grabs a towel, washes his head.
Right when you do that, Kai's gonna quickly grab a towel and do the whip.
Feel like I should contest that, but you know what? That one goes through this time.
A win for me. Nice.
Orsk and Boros, if you would like to.
Orsis is going to turn to Boros and say, "Hey, listen, I'm going to go out for a walk. I'll be back before dawn.
Where are you going?
I'm visiting a relative."
It's midnight.
Well, we're not going to be staying in town long, and I don't know when I'll have the chance to, see my relative again.
I mean, I would wait till morning when I know they're awake, but if you really want to go see them, I'm not going to be able to help you if something happens, though.
Well, that's fine. I'm sure that I'll be alright. Orsk is going to open up the window and go down from it, right? How high is the...
There's a door!
You are on the second floor, but there
bad.
are enough ledges within the brick and wood construction of this building that a dexterous individual such as yourself can easily navigate your way down street side.
Excellent. Then that's exactly what I'll do. Because sometimes men just don't need doors.
I just shake my head as they walk over the window and close it.
Heading to your sister's place. Quite close, so it's a very short jaunt over, and you get to this large, walled, mini castle-like compound. A couple other smaller buildings actually within this compound as well. 2 gates at the front, presumably one for entering and one for exiting, currently manned by a couple of private employed protection. So a very nondescript mix of armor, chainmails, and plates, long cloaks concealing whatever weapons they might have.
Gonna go up to one of the guardsmen, let them know who I am.
You are stopped by these guards, and as you announce who you are, the 2 standing in front of this gate look between themselves, and one reaches down and pulls out a small book, flips through, holds it up next to you, and glances between, and looks at the other guard. They close it, put it down, and then clap their feet together, stand at attention. "Sir Orsk, we are at your service."
Excellent. Let me inside, please.
They stand aside and open the gates and allow you entry up towards the main building. The reason for 2 gates is the cobbled road continues and opens up to a large roundabout for carts and such. And you pass many beautiful carved bushes, and as you're looking around, you notice a guardsman that was on the inside has begun to follow you towards the main door of the building. You walk up and knock. Quietly, this door opens, and you see very well-dressed, like full tailored suit, elven man on the other side. "Yes, sir."
Hello, my name is Orsk Battlehammer. I know it is late, I do apologize, but I would like to have an audience with my sister, the lady of the house.
Looks past you to the guard that's been shadowing you, and as you follow his gaze, you see the guard just give a very small nod as the elven man says, "Please wait here 1 second, sir."
Thank you.
Quietly latches the door. Quite some time passes before the door opens once again, and this time, many other well-dressed servants of the house, personal aides to your sister standing throughout, and just inside the door, the same elven man that greeted you reaches up to this big brass and gold bell hanging above the entryway. Ding! 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 Rings it 3 times as they all stand at attention. "Sir Orsk arriving." Walking down the hallway, even in the middle of the night, very well dressed. Your sister, in her night clothes, rubs her eyes and looks. The tire just disappear from her face as this big grin comes across and just runs straight up to you, almost knocking you over, gives you this gigantic hug. "Brother, it's so nice to see you! It's been so long!"
Can you please get off me?
Yes, yes.
Well,
Hey,
yes,
you sent a letter. I didn't know it was going to be soon in the middle of the night, but I'm so glad to see you. It's so good. Are your friends with you? I want to meet them.
No, I
You said you were coming with people.
Yes, but I kind of snuck off away from them, you see. It turns out that we won't be staying in Waterdeep as long as I would have liked. So I figured that shall get it done now, as soon as I can.
Where are they staying? Are you paying for a place? You better not be paying for a place. You can stay here!
Well, technically, I didn't pay for the place, but if you are insistent on us going into accommodation where we do not have to pay, I will have to talk with them about it. Listen, I wish I came here for a more social visit, but like I stated in the letter, I have some business I would like to talk to you about, and I know it's late, and I do apologize for that.
It's fine. I can get sleep later. We gotta talk. We gotta catch up.
It has been a couple decades. It's been a good while.
I've got a new house since we last spoke. I know I think I sent you a letter that I had moved just in case you ever come by, but I haven't told you much about it. I've been promoted. I'm one of the council members of Waterdeep now.
That's fantastic. Wow. Actually,
I get to run my own district.
I'm proud of you. I'm sure that Dad will be very proud of you too. Have you told him about it?
I have. I've been trying to stay in touch. Gotta keep everyone talking as much as we can. I don't hear as much from him as I send. I think he probably gets a little annoyed at how much I send him letters, but I haven't sent him one in too long. I've been busy. I'm trying to manage the clothing, trying to manage being a council member all of a sudden. I didn't even ask for the job. They just gave it to me. So I inherited all those duties as well, so I'm staying pretty busy throughout the day.
Is there a sitting area where we could discuss this more?
Yes, of course. Right in here and behind you throughout this whole conversation, all of these service staff have been standing unmoving at full attention this entire time, and she finally just now processes that she's still getting awake, and she's like, oh, you guys can disperse. Everything's fine. They all start to split up, and one of them comes over. Ma'am, would you like us to get the reading room ready? And she's like, sure, just, I guess, make some tea, then you all can go back to bed. There's no reason for all of you guys to be up. She looks back at you, Orsk. I'm still getting used to the amount of staff they've given me. These people treat me like royalty. It's kind of crazy.
Well, that's probably because you are one, if they managed you to counsel.
Well, yeah, but I was used to just making tea for myself. Now they won't even let me in the kitchen. I have to order them to let me into the kitchen. It's kind of weird.
That is a bit daunting to wrap my head around, but anyways, let's go to the city room.
She leads you over to this very beautiful library. Velvet red carpets throughout. Beautiful handcrafted furniture with very comfy pillows within, a few different seats, a couple of couches, this brick fireplace. Even in the middle of the night seems to have been roaring and crackling, awaiting anyone who may come in here throughout the night. Soon enough, you guys are sat down, and a platter of freshly brewed tea, sugar, milk, anything you would like to add, along with a small sampling of cheeses and small meats. Choylin, once again, is like, okay, I only asked for tea, but sure.
Is there any of her staff around? If so, I would like to ask them to leave, for this is a very private matter.
They have vacated the room once they dropped off, and
right,
she has a small little bell in the event they're needed for anything.
Orsk sips some of the tea and says, Joylin, I'll try to keep this as brief as possible. And Orsk goes on the whole spiel about like everything that has happened so far, like, you know, all the enemies that they've made, the things that happened at the Way and what's happened over at Daggerford, and etc. And once it gets done explaining, he says, bottom line, with your influence and connections, we could really use some allies. And it would just be fantastic if we had someone of your caliber, plus with you being my own sister, you know, like on our side, would help us out immensely.
Do you tell her everything?
Yes, why not? I mean, she is family. That's why I mainly wanted people to vacate, right? Meaning like staff members.
Yep. So as you are telling her all of this, her face goes from very joyful, happy to see you again, thinking this is going to be a let's catch up, to very, very concerned. Especially as you talk about your friends imprisoned by the drow. At the end of it, you sit there and you just quietly sips some tea as it takes her probably a couple full minutes to process everything, and you can see the shift in her face as she's coming back to reality and looks you in the eyes. I wouldn't know where to begin, who to trust, if you even think that high levels of Daggerford's leadership are involved.
If people
Can we trust anyone here?
That's the thing, you probably can't.
I mean, I can call a council meeting first thing tomorrow morning, and
I wouldn't advise that. That would make you an easy target if you bring it over to the public.
I could go to some of the other council people individually.
Again, I would not
Try to-
advise that either, but what I would advise is to just keep your eyes open, and if you see anything out of the ordinary, just try to do what you can to avoid any danger for now, and privately, in secret, try to aid us if you can.
Okay. I'll start thinking up if there's anyone that I know we could absolutely trust, and I mean, I guess I have to ask, these people you're with, you just met them.
It's a big
Can
risk.
you trust them?
On per basis with each individual, I have my own degree of trust with each one of them. But overall, for the time being, I trust that they won't let me die in battle.
As you say that, you see her face shift once more as the reality once again hits her of how dangerous of a situation you're in.
I'll tell you what. Tomorrow night, if we still have to stay in Waterdeep, I will suggest for us to sleep here for the night. That way you can meet the people that I'm traveling with and you can form your own opinions about them.
Okay.
Orsk takes another sip of tea and stands up. Here's what we're seeing at, right? And Orsk writes down the inn name and passes it over to her.
Oh. Interesting choice.
Alright, well, I'll see you later.
Be safe out there.
Likewise.
She'll just lean up against and watch as you walk down the hallway, still, like, processing this information you've just dumped on her. And as you begin walking out of the compound, you notice that she has stepped out of the main door and is speaking to one of the guards. One of the guards that was just within the compound does begin to shadow you.
By her orders or just by himself?
It seems so by her orders.
Okay. Yeah, Orsk will pay no attention to it, knowing her. Yeah, he'll just make his way
Easily
back
enough.
over to the inn, right?
This guard does not really in any way try to hide his presence from you. He knows you saw him and just keeps a quite respectable distance. Knowing your sister, probably there in the event shit hits the fan again.
And once Orsk gets back to the inn, he will use the door this time.
Well, while you were gone, Jen and Kai, your bath concludes. You make your way back to the room, Boros sketching on some paper, Juliet asleep, and your dwarven friend is nowhere in sight.
Everything's been well, Boros?
Yeah.
Jin looks around. Where's...
I don't know where he went either. He left at the window for some reason.
Good choice.
Damn it. Don't encourage
There's
this
a door.
behavior.
There's a door right there. You're stepping through it.
Well, it was his choice. See what happens.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be back. Hey, what you doing?
Just something to just keep my mind off of things.
As the night continues, Boros, were you going to go take a bath, or is this it for the night?
He'll probably take a bath after spending some time with this. 5 silver?
5 silver.
Alright.
Boros, you finish up your bath. Orsk ends up making his way back to the inn through the front door, surprisingly for Jin and Kai, knowing the way that he left. You're just sitting there expecting a knock on the window at some point, but he walks right through the door.
Oh, hi, Orsk.
Yo. I'm probably just gonna take a bath sometime tomorrow. I'm kind of pooped. I'm gonna go to sleep.
finish this up real quick, and I'm gonna go to bed too.
I'll take first watch.
All right.
By the way, Boros actually just falls asleep at the desk.
I will take second watch.
Okay, wake me up for the third.
Most of you very much needed a good night's sleep, and we'll take a break there as the afternoon sun is rising, and you all will get a late start to your day.
I can mark down one of my numbers.
In the early afternoon, as the metropolis of Waterdeep is bustling around, all of you finally begin to stir awake after a much needed peaceful night's rest.
It was good to sleep somewhere around civilization for a change. Now it's time to see if Juliet has mutated anymore. Turns head slightly to the left.
She looks the same as the night before.
Orsk gives a thumbs up. So let's think of a game plan. I know we need to grab some supplies, because I think tomorrow morning we should probably head out.
I was gonna visit the library and pick up some leather.
Tag along with you during the library.
I also would like to go to the library, but we should definitely remember to go to the store and buy tents.
Library, then tent. We could all do that together.
Well,
Right.
okay.
I put back on my gauntlets and shin guards and heading downstairs.
Juliet is actively choosing not to put on her armor and is going to go just her fine, noble clothing. While Juliet is going through her bag, she is going to notice that the tuning fork and other items are missing. Start out normal and then really frantically start pulling out everything that's in her bag. So 8 pieces of pocket bacon. The tuning fork is missing. Some of my personal things.
Oh, here. I kept this with me. It looked important. She'll just take the brooch out.
Thank you. She puts it back in her bag where she usually hides it. And the tuning fork?
I don't remember if I grabbed that. Let me double check.
Is that the noise Kai makes while she double checks?
Yes.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, Juliet, you can tell that Kai's rifling through her bag, but she's just moving the same things back and forth.
Juliet is going to hold out her hand expectantly and direct eye contact with Kai.
Knowing that Kai will just pause, grab the tuning fork, and... Okay, here. Sorry. It's really crammed in my backpack.
Juliet won't call you on your bullshit out loud, but you know that she knows that you know that she knows.
Oh yeah. She also gives you the I'm sorry look in her eyes, but still kind of keep the bullshit going on. Specifically, she's trying her best to only stare at your left eye and not your right.
Troy's gonna put it in the pouch that she's carrying with her instead.
As you all head downstairs, Juliet, you recognize a familiar face. Manning the large, solid oak bar top is another female red tiefling that co-owns this establishment. Ronob Beauty is her name.
Like McDonald?
No. Why do I even make exotic names? Everyone's named Jeremy from here on out. Stands there in this well-used clothing that just appears to be what she feels comfortable wearing moving about. And actually sees you, Juliet, and has this look of recognition and is like, oh, hello there again. Oh, wait, I listened to the Rupert before this.
Rupert.
I knew it was going to come back.
I was waiting for
You
it.
got 2 voices. Rupert and not Rupert.
I could check that off the bingo card.
Yeah, what happens in my session, Rupert comes out instead of another regular
Why
voice.
do we have a bingo card?
It's really lovely to see you again. Thank you so much for having us. Your accommodations were lovely. Could we get some brunch, please?
She motions to a empty table off on the side that would fit your group of 5 quite well, and gives you a motion that she'll be there shortly. It is quite full down here this morning. There's probably about 25, maybe 30 tables in this establishment crammed in this large open first floor. The only other room in this first floor pretty much is back behind the bar where the kitchen's at. From what you can see, appear to be many individuals staffing the tavern currently with great haste. A couple minutes after you sit down, a tiefling barkeep come up to you. Yes, hello. Special this morning is some lobster frittata with some salted pineapple slices on the side. Past that, we have your normal town dishes and meats available, along with many different types of alcoholic spirits.
I guess I'll have the special and just the water for me, please.
1 beer, please.
Black coffee.
Pork chops and apples.
I'll just take an avocado smoothie.
Coming right up. And for those of you that ordered food, we'll come to 3 silver. Those of you just with plain drinks, 1 silver. Non-alcoholic drinks, bottomless.
Nice. While we wait for food and things, Juliet's going to do a quick scan around the room. Is there like a job board?
Yes, there is.
At some point before we leave the inn, Juliet will go peruse it. Specifically, I am looking for anything that would take us in the direction of Silvery Moon.
Orsk, specifically. You do notice an individual in familiar clothing, but not the same face as last night. Appears another one of Joyland's personal guards sitting across from you, just sipping on some coffee. And once you look over, make sure that you know he's there.
Orsk tries to hide his face in the mug of ale as he mutters under his breath, "Oh God," visibly cringing.
And you do see on the outside of his cloak is a larger than normal longsword.
I'm gonna ask for a waiter and ask for 2 chickens.
That will take a little bit. And for 2 whole cooked chickens, you're looking at a gold.
Alright?
Listen here, you barkeep. All of your attention is drawn to the center of this room as this red-haired young dwarven figure gets up, empty mug in hand, yelling across the whole tavern, I asked 20 minutes ago for a refill, and ain't no one around here getting me anything. And he gets up and like smashes this mug across the ground, and the force of his arm going down takes him down with it, and he just plants face first in the middle of this inn floor, out for the count.
Orsk visibly cringes at that dwarf.
What appear to be town guards at this point, you can surmise, in the same blue painted full plate armor, enter the restaurant, grab this dwarf by his legs, and just start dragging him out.
It's dwarves like him that give us a bad name.
Soon after this event passes, your guys' food and drink, minus the 2 whole-cooked chickens, are brought out and to eat amongst yourselves. Boros, I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
Okay.
Are you allergic to pineapple?
For the next 1 hour, you have +2 to your wisdom.
That's a good
That
special.
lobster's really
Right.
good. A few minutes after, 2 servers from the tavern bring out 2 like huge serving plates with an entire whole cooked chicken on each of them, and just set them in the middle of the table, and we'll walk away.
Juliet's going to down her coffee. I have to go back to the temple, so I don't need to be with you when you buy 2 tents for us to have tents.
You know what? Orsk is going to immediately stand up and go out and buy tents.
If you're okay with it, I could tag along. If you're not comfortable, I could stay outside of the temple.
You're welcome to come with me. I just didn't figure everyone. So the boys are doing the shopping episode, and the girls are going to the temple.
When we left Violet Jester, I would have gave the chickens to the direwolves.
They were extremely thankful. One of the merchants standing watch on all the supplies with the dire wolves did let you know that in the night there was an incident, and the guards attempted to put away your dire wolves, but as of now he was able to convince them that they are safe, though the guards did let him know, and thus the merchant was passing on to you guys, if the dire wolves are roaming the city alone, they will be killed on sight.
Good to know.
Noted.
You make your way over to the Prophecy's Tomb once again, just down the main thoroughfare. There isn't really a city square in Waterdeep. If there was, this would be it. You walk in once more, and seemingly waiting for you, the same female half-elf and male dwarven priests talking with some other patrons. Both notice you enter and immediately respectfully end their conversations and come usher you to the same back room, actually, that seems to be a very multi-purpose room. And they have switched out the table on which you were laying before with a chair and desk area, usher you to sit down. How are you feeling?
Well, I suppose a little better. I've still got a headache. I don't feel at my full strength, but I'm fine. I'm always fine.
The half-elf is the only one speaking to you. The hill dwarf stands off the side, just looking Juliet up and down. As the half-elf continues, with your permission, we'd like to do both some physical and more divine in nature examinations to see exactly what's going on here. As he motions, your eye seem to have been side effects, possibly, of your resurrection. If you are allowing, they will begin both a general physical examinations, looking in your eyes, anything like that. Coming up with nothing, they both stand together. If you could please sit as still as possible for a moment, we're going to call upon our divine patrons for a moment. We're not calling on anyone in particular. This is more of a general call for help and see if anyone responds.
Juliet's gonna do a real quick skim around, making sure there's no white ravens, no nothing of that nature.
Make a perception check. You have a massive migraine right now, and it is not easy to detail examine the room. But you do notice this room is very nondescript, and to the best of your knowledge, there is no white ravens in here. They both take out divine instruments and begin muttering under their breath some divine incantations, and start to draw symbols into the air. As they begin drawing these symbols, make an Arcana check for me. And Kai, go ahead and make an Arcana check as well, since you're in the room. And Kai, there's a lot of pretty colors happening. Juliet, on the other hand, you recognize some of these divine incantations. You begin to notice something else that gets added. And there's not only divine symbols here, but also some symbols originating from the arcane that you know of. And these runes and symbols they're drawing fully manifests in this weird combination of gold and black energy as the circle passes straight through you. You don't feel anything. And you look behind you and see as the circle still floats there before they mutter some more words and it disappears. They both very quietly whisper amongst themselves and look back. For the most part, you seem okay, though we do still worry about that eye a little bit.
Does it happen every time I make eye contact with people?
It does not fully take over your vision like it did the first time, though every subsequent time after you make eye contact with Juliet, it just brings up the memory in the back of your mind and feelings associated with it.
Could we not lesser restoration it?
If you're willing to put down some coin for a more in-depth ritual, we could attempt.
How much of a little bit?
About 150 gold for the materials required.
But we can't guarantee that it will work.
This is a much more powerful ritual that we could attempt, though we provide no promises with any of our services, unfortunately, though we wish we could.
Seems very interesting for you two to cure something fairly new. How about 30 gold?
I need you to make one hell of a persuasion check if you want to knock it that low.
Right, we're starting low. We'll barter back up. That is one hell of a persuasion roll.
Okay.
The half-elf gives you this look of what? That is a really low amount, and you see the dwarf next to her, more engaged with what you're saying, and starts to nod. And upon seeing her reaction, elbows her in the side, and her face goes from who do you think you are to... Okay, 30 gold in the name of research and advancement, I guess. They will leave you in this room for a little bit while they go and gather the necessary materials. After a couple minutes, they come back in with some small pouches of materials, and they begin to take out different divine instruments, and finally they take out this beautiful diamond that's fairly small. Set it on the table next to you. The dwarven man takes a small hammer out of one of his pouches and just smashes this diamond into tiny shards all across the table.
Oh.
Dust created from this diamond begins to float around as they draw more divine symbols in the air. Dust then falls around you, getting absorbed into your body, though you don't really feel anything. And as Juliet, you open your eyes, the death mark is no longer in Juliet's right pupil.
30 gold worth it!
They look between themselves, smile across their face. I guess we have learned something new today.
Very good work, thank you. I don't suppose you'll need us to come back.
It will probably take a few more days for you to feel completely better, but I guess you're okay.
Wonderful. Thank you for your help. Have a lovely day. And Juliet will get out of there as fast as she can.
As you both begin to leave, there are two events happening near simultaneously. So we'll pause for what happens with Juliet and Kai. The boys. Leaving the Violet Jester, looking for a general store to purchase tents and other supplies you may need for your travels. Boros and Jen, there are 5 unknown, cloaked, and possibly heavily armed individuals beelining towards you. Do you two do anything?
Are we out in the open?
Yes, you are in the middle of a vast thoroughfare, but you guys can easily perceive these individuals are beelining for you.
I'm gonna stand my ground and just wait.
I'm gonna take a
Okay.
defensive stance with Jin.
As they walk up, you can clearly start to see their armaments more. There's a mix of chainmail and plate armor, and the lead one calls out to you, Orsk. Sir Orsk, the lady requires you and your compatriots' presence at the manor immediately.
So soon?
There has been a development.
Very well.
Orsk, who are these people?
These are my sisters. Well, I want to say servants.
5 of them taking a diamond defensive perimeter around the 3 of you as they begin taking you southwards towards the edge of the city. At the exact same time, Juliet and Kai. As you walk out, you notice 5 of these same all-black cloaked individuals, heavily armed, are standing just outside the door.
Juliet is going to go ahead and close the door of the temple and go back in.
Did
Where
you
are
know
you?
Nope.
them? No.
Do I know them? No, but I'm not taking any chances.
The door begins to open as you guys are
We're-
making your way through the main chamber.
While we've been in here, have we noticed any other side exits?
There's the door you took to the back room behind the main presentation stage. There's also another door that leads to the graveyard and park out back.
We are going to walk with purpose out the back
Oh,
door.
no, yeah.
You make probably halfway through the main chamber as you hear the door open behind you. Madam Juliet, Madam Kai, your presence is requested by Lady Battlehammer.
Do we know Orsik's last name at this point?
Yes.
You? Okay.
Yes, he told us his
I
father's
thought we
name.
learned it after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it a trap?
I don't think Orsic is famous. So I doubt anyone would use his last name willy-nilly like that.
She has
So-
indicated that time is of the essence.
I want to roll an insight check.
Go for it. You pick up on a few key pieces of information. The fact that, A, they have stopped in this entryway and are simply calling to you. They are not moving any closer towards you right now. Gray and black Goliath lines left side of his face and down his neck. His face is really much like one side is human, the other side is Goliath.
You're drooling.
Which... I mean, he seems legit, but... Do we run or go?
I trust your judgment.
That's a terrible plan, really.
Kai will look towards the half Goliath. Okay, we'll stay in the back. You lead, we'll follow.
Ma'am, our orders are to protect you at all costs to get you to the manor.
I think you may be underestimating us.
I do not know you, so that is fair. But I also
we'll
know that the
follow.
lady has given me a mission, and I will give my life for that mission, no matter what it is. And in this case, it is the safety of your lives.
You're right, that is hot. Alright.
Swoon.
You lead, we'll follow.
At least stay close behind us. Looks to the other four. V formation. And they turn to leave. You are led, all five of you, up this hill that seems to have some sort of waterfall coming down through these beautiful estates. Clearly either wealthy individuals, at the very least upwards of possibly nobility in some way. Guys get there first. Soon, a few minutes followed the ladies to this beautiful walled estate. Or you saw the guard complement last night. The guard complement has been at least quadrupled since you were here. You were all led to the main gates, which open for you. Your personal protection detail coming in, motion for all the others to move aside, and the four others that were part of your protection formation break off. And as you're approaching the porch, you can see within inside Orsk, Boros, and Jen standing within the front entryway.
I'm just glad you're okay. Orsk, next time you decide to send a whole armada after armadas or boats, platoon? Is that right? I don't know. Look, I'm kind of
I really like Armada.
a whole armada of assassins after us. Maybe, let us know in advance.
Believe
happen.
me, it's on myself to be sending that kind of armada, as you put it, after people. My sister, on the other hand, well, she's more along the side of that kind of flair.
So glad I'm an only child.
There is a guard standing at the main door, a couple of the manor servants moving about.
You, servant, what is
Yes.
going on?
There was an emergency council meeting called this morning, but that is all I know.
In that case, Orsk is going to turn back to the group and he says, well, while we wait on my sister, let us hail over to the city room.
Vast library and reading room with beautiful red velvet carpets, beautiful handcrafted furniture, and a fire still roaring. A servant within nods at you before leading to a back room, and a few minutes later emerging with platters of fine snacks, teas, coffee, and other drinks.
Juliet's
Alright.
gonna drink a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
For
Orsk is
sure.
going to ask the servants to leave after when they get through, sending all the goodies here.
Alright, easily enough.
Orsk, who's
Who
this
are you
sister
and why are
of
you so
yours?
posh?
So, I suppose you have questions.
Yep, I have questions.
I myself just recently found out that my sister is on the council and is apparently a big of enough deal for even people that are her relatives will get special treatment. That part I was not aware of until this morning when I found out that one of her servants was tailing us for our own protection. We need allies, and I informed my sister Jolyn, who was on the council, all that we have come across thus far.
Orsk, how long has your sister been in power?
That I don't know. To be honest, last night was the first time I've seen her in over 2 decades.
2 weeks ago, when I was here, your sister was not in charge. And the timing just, with everything else, it can't be a coincidence, can it?
Does seem rather coincidental.
Orsk, if you trust your sister, we will trust you. But are you sure it was your sister?
Ding! 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 You hear a bell from the entryway, and a loud voice call out, Lady Joylyn Battlehammer, arriving.
Does this room have a window?
It does not. It is an internal room.
Keep it close so Orsk doesn't ditch out.
Orsk is gonna go out into the hallway, right?
As you open the door, you see house servants that were in the area once the bell was rung have assembled and are standing at attention as the front door swings open, and your sister, in a very formal attire, hastily walks in, paying little attention or care to the individual standing at attention for her, and immediately comes down the hallway.
Orsk is also going to do like insight, right? Because now that was brought up, he's starting to question things, right?
Go ahead and roll an insight check for your own sister. Something is troubling her extremely greatly, and right now is 0 time for pleasantries.
I see.
And as she leads down the hallway, wraps her hands around your shoulder, brings you into the reading room without saying a thing, closes the door behind you, and begins latching it.
When she is in range, does my vamp check pick up anything?
It does not. And as she makes her way around the room, finishing latching all the doors, turns around and looks directly at you, Orsk. I think the council members are planning an ambush on you and your friends. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
See, it pays to
We're not gonna get tense.
Oh my god.
I think I took a shower.
I am.